Okay, and we're live again.
I'm back with another podcast.
Midday at midfield. And
Today we're talking about running backs and the Titans' history and present. AKA four main ones is Eddie George, Earl Campbell, Chris Johnson, and Derrick Henry.
alright. So before we look at stats or anything, who would you say is the best? Just off the top of your head before we look at stats.
Well, I've already looked at stats. I did last night. I probably would have said Eddie George, but the stats don't lie.
I agree.
I have a different opinion now.
Alright. So let's just start out. What stat would you say surprised you the most?
Well, for starters, the fact that I thought Derrick Henry just got absolute workload. But if you look at it, he's got the least attempts out of all of these guys, I'm pretty sure. Just looking at their three best seasons, Eddie George, 1095, Earl Campbell, 1043, Chris Johnson, 950, and then Derrick, 896. And I thought he had one of the heaviest which it's a different NFL now than it even was 8 years ago. So, but I thought he had a lot more. And then 45 touchdowns in 3 seasons for a running back. And 4,600 yards.
I would say the one that surprises me is Eddie George never touching 2,000 or never leading the league in yards. I would say that was the one that was like, okay, to me. But other than that, I say we start with Derrick and just move down. So Derrick in his career has had 5,000 rushing yards on 1,182 attempts. He has back-to-back rushing titles, but he is the second player on the Titans to win the rushing title. He's played 5 years, which isn't as long as the other ones, but he's almost there.
Too.
Yeah, won twice. He also has tied the NFL rushing for the longest touchdown rush with the 99 rusher against Jacksonville.
And it's never going to be beaten.
No, you can't beat 99. So that one's safe. And then his highest, which is 8th among all running backs, was 2,027. First for a single season in the Titans. 2 Pro Bowls, 2020 Offensive Player of the Year. To me, that's quite a resume for being how really young he is.
What is he? So he's going into his 6th year?
6th year.
So we're starting that 4-year extension.
Yep.
This year. Seems like he's been here a lot shorter than that because we didn't use him the first 2 seasons.
It really does, because we got the, I don't know, we had the DeMarco Murray, which I was okay with that when Derrick was younger. But then when we tried to use Dion Lewis as our number one, I didn't know what we were doing for that.
And Kevin, man.
Yeah.
Like, I get it seeing where he goes after a couple games, but dude did nothing.
Yeah, I don't know what we were doing with the Dion Lewis thing.
Terrible.
To be honest, because Derrick started carrying that back end of the season, because that was after that game at Jacksonville.
Is that the 2017 or was it the 2018?
2018.
Yeah, where he had 1,059.
I was going to say, the way he finished that
games.
Derrick he really could have won the rushing title 3 years in a row. But we won't speak on that.
Yeah.
We won't speak on that.
He went from yards a game, still even only playing, well, that's not that impressive. I was going to say he's playing 2 games. Which 2 games for 490 yards and 5 touchdowns, which that game started. But, I mean, that's still impressive for a rookie.
Yeah.
And I think you can't dismiss the fact that he was also the first player ever to do 2,000 yards rushing in high school, college, and the NFL.
You can't. That's like a really good stat. I'm glad you brought that up because that's amazing, to be honest. It's amazing. And you have to think about Derrick is the 3rd player to lead the league in attempts, touchdowns, and yards behind, I think it was LT and Emmitt Smith.
And another thing is, so Earl Campbell had 91 games. Derrick Henry's at 78 now. Earl is averaging or was averaging 0.8 touchdowns a game, and Derek's at 0.7 touchdowns. I think he could definitely beat Earl Campbell's touchdown.
Oh yeah, I see. Especially if not already, I see by the end of because Derek's already top 5, no matter what anybody says in Titans history. But I definitely see him really like. I'm not gonna say he's falling off a cliff, but I mean he's gonna get older, so he's gonna start to regress eventually. But no matter what, I really see Derek
I don't
coming
see a
out.
sign of regression yet,
Yeah,
though.
I really see Derek because he takes care of his body. He does everything he's supposed to do. I see Derek being the best running back, but really the best player in Titans history when he retires, or
so too.
however that.
I hope he
ends.
retires.
I hope he retires a Titan. I'm not gonna lie.
Even if it's was it Jason Witten who's
Type
doing
thing,
like a
yeah.
day contract? I like that, but I'd rather him. I thought Jarrell Casey was going to retire with the Titans.
That kind of hurt.
Kind of hurt, yeah.
So our next running back on this list is Mr. Eddie George, who, from the blink of an eye, you would think is still the Titans' best running back. You could say he really is because he does still hold the record for yards, like as a career as a Titan.
But you got to look at. See, I'm more of a guy who likes touchdowns rather than yards.
I feel you.
But it goes both ways because yards sets up the passing game. Passing game sets up the yard. So, but Eddie George had 2,733 attempts for 64 touchdowns and 10,009 yards. 128 games, where Earl Campbell only had 91, Chris Johnson 95, and Derrick Henry 78. So I just think 78 yards a game average to Earl Campbell's 94, Chris Johnson's 83, and then Derek with the 2 seasons he didn't rush for anything.
Yeah.
With 75 yards a game because Derrick Henry's last 3 he's averaging 107 yards a game.
Okay.
So I don't know.
So would you make the claim that you think Eddie George is overrated? Would you take that hot take? Because it's definitely a hot take among Titans fans. Would you take the hot take?
I wouldn't say he's overrated. I just think he's definitely the best that we've seen with the Titans before Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Because we don't have a very good history of running backs. So I don't think it's overrated.
Okay. I would say Eddie gets so much love because Eddie's second season when he really went off was the first year as the Tennessee Titans.
Mm-hmm.
So Tennessee needed somebody to love. Eddie came here, got us to the Super Bowl, him and Steve McNair. So I think from there on, really, nobody paid attention after that because your first year in Tennessee, you went to the Super Bowl. So after that, no matter what anybody says, they're going to be like, oh, Eddie could really be one of the best, if not the best running back. But we do have to give a shout out to Eddie because I think Eddie is the reason we have the monster Derrick Henry we have now.
Yeah.
Because even Derrick says that Eddie gave him a call and said, you got to stop running like you're 100 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Lay a shoulder into him. And now we have King Henry.
And keep your feet moving.
Yeah.
Because that was, what year was that? Was that last year or was that the year before?
That was the year 2017 with Dion Lewis. Because even Derrick admitted that he didn't have no hard feelings towards Dion.
Started.
Nah, because remember we was gonna trade him. Remember?
I'm glad we didn't.
I'm so glad we didn't. But even Derrick has admitted that he didn't have any hard feelings towards Dion, but he was kind of sad that because when we got Dion, we never thought he was gonna be the starter, and then he came in and he took the workload from DeMarco Murray. And even Derrick admitted that phone call with Eddie helped him get through that adversity because nobody wants to lose their starting job to Dion Lewis.
I think I was arguing with somebody on the Instagram. It wasn't arguing. It was I don't know. Because we had just lost Arthur. And they were like, Derrick Henry wouldn't be who he is without Arthur. I'm like, you could take that way, but Derrick Henry's a grown man.
Yeah.
He makes his own destiny. It's not like Arthur Smith was taking Mark Ingram and turning him into Derrick Henry. He's taking Derrick Henry and turning him into Derrick Henry. I just
you could say
it was all about the Eddie George combo.
You could say that Derek is. Well, you really. I wouldn't say he. I would say he could be a system running back because he wouldn't thrive if we didn't give him the ball. Because Derek gets stronger as the game goes. We all know this. So I guess you could say that he's a system running back, but I don't think you could. There's no way that you could say he wouldn't be able to do what he does in another system. As long as it's run heavy, I think you're going to get King Henry.
I just don't think you have to hand it off to him 30 times a game.
No, I don't think.
I think you need to start running with him to set up the pass instead of running with him to set up another run. Like, because that was the only problem I had with Arthur was play calling is run on first down, run on second down, throw a 3rd and 8, run on first down, run when the running game's not working.
I feel you, but I feel like what would help Derek a lot and what would help the Titans confuse up more people is if we operate out of a 2 running back set more.
Or 3.
Because we all know when Derek comes out the game that it's most likely a passing down. But if you keep Evans on the field, even when we're running, I feel like it would make the defense guess just a little bit more and it would open up. Because I think that's why we drafted Evans to take the load.
Same thing with Deion Lewis. He'd come in and out of passing plays. Yeah. And I'm like, they know what you're doing.
They know what you're doing. But I think the new offensive coordinator should change that up a little bit. I won't say he will, but I think he should. All right. On Mr. CJ2K himself.
He's a little overrated, though, too.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think I'll give him his credit.
Mike, but you just look. Okay, yes, he had 6,000 plus yard years or seasons, but after that, his career just slumped because he was worried about the money and all that. So I think he could have went down as one of the greatest. But that's what I like about Derek too. Derek don't care about the money; he wants to win. That's why I see a good future for Derek too.
I'm honestly gonna say this. I think CJ2K is just a tad bit slept on because he's nobody really talks about how when he went to East Carolina University, he was a wide receiver. So making that switch in the pros, yes, he was fast, but it's still a whole nother game. So I don't think he gets enough respect for that. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Chris Johnson with people like he was Alvin Kamara and CMC before that became the go-to back. You feel me? Like before screens, I'm gonna throw you the ball and see what you can do with it. You're not just gonna run the ball. He became that back.
Yeah, because he's got 260 receiving, 503, 245, 418, 232. Whereas Derek has probably like 10.
Yeah, Derek, I give Derek. That's why we need Evans. He ain't no catcher.
99. He really didn't do bad the past 2 years. Well, 2 years ago, not this year. He wasn't. He had 114 this year, which isn't. But, I mean, he was 31 targets, 19 receptions. I mean, it's not horrible.
And I feel like Derek is the best of Chris Johnson and the best of Eddie because he takes Eddie's strength, Chris Johnson's speed, and he's just, I would say he's the ultimate back because Chris Johnson had speed, but he was going to juke you. He wasn't really going to, stiff arm you, truck you, any of that. Derek will throw you.
That Josh Norman video is never going to go away. You don't understand, dude. I was at the beach when that happened, and I was just like, and I started jumping up and down, like, oh my God, he just disrespected him on national television.
Oh, national television.
It was primetime, wasn't it?
Yep, it was the first Tuesday night game since like 1958.
That was funny.
And Chris Johnson, I believe, held the record for the longest run, or one of the longest. I know it was the longest run in franchise history, till Derek won it. Till Derek took it. Chris Johnson also won Offensive Player of the Year in 2009.
What was it? 94-yard rush?
Yeah, against the Jets, I think.
I don't know. I was just looking at the year. But yeah.
With Chris Johnson, I don't think, because I think a lot of people do kind of focus on the tail end of his career. Like me personally, I'm glad
the Jets, Arizona.
Yeah, I'm glad that he got the little stint in Arizona because for like a couple games, he was doing all right. He was their like go-to back, and I feel like that was good for him to retire after that stint in Arizona. Because if he would have just finished with the Jets, his career would, I feel like, would have been tarnished. But yeah, me personally, I think that Chris Johnson slept on.
If you look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons, 8, 7.5, 8 seasons. I mean, that's a pretty good NFL career. So I think the average is like 3.
Is yeah, especially for a running back, it's way lower.
Yeah, because you're getting hit almost every play.
But also, I would have to say an honorable mention, and I just looked at his stats. I didn't really write any of this down. Would be LenDale White.
I remember him and Kenny Britt and
yo, that team was crazy. But LenDale White, he was the first. Like not the first, but he was dominant as I'm just gonna run you over. Mm-hmm. When we had LenDale and Chris Johnson, that was the height. But that would be an honorable mention for me. So I want you to rank these 3. Now that you know everything you know, you've looked at stats, you've broken them down. To give me your 1, 2, 3 in order.
So I'm gonna go with Derek at the top. It's close with Eddie and Earl, but again, I'm a more touchdown dude than yards. I think I'm gonna go with Earl on that, and then Eddie, and then CJ. I mean, because that's 4 good names.
Yeah.
So putting CJ at the bottom of those is not.
Yeah, it's not
an insult at all.
I know some Titans fans are gonna be like, "Why would y'all do this to discredit anybody's legacy?" We're not doing this for that. Just thought this would be fun to break down, compare careers. But I really agree with your list. I feel like at the end, so I'm going off predictions with you. I feel like at the end,
they ain't gonna like the next one. They ain't gonna like my next list.
So I agree with you on that. I feel like at the end, you would have to go Derek based off potential and what he's done. Mm-hmm. You would have to go Earl. And Eddie and CJ is close, but I'm going to go with Eddie since he has the only Super Bowl appearance out of any of them. Eddie's got that. So I will give Eddie the boost on that. And I'll put CJ at 4th.
Derek should have been in a Super Bowl.
He's going to get one before. He's going to get one. He's going to get one.
He needs a ring. That will solidify him at the top for sure.
You think so? I think that would. I think that would solidify him as the top.
They got to do him like that. You got to put that in there. Did dude never make another? Like, did he stay on the practice squad now?
Yeah,
he's probably done retired.
Right no, he's retired. I kind of feel bad for the way LenDale White because he likes to smoke weed, so he got like pulled over, had weed in the car, like right after he got cut from the Titans.
I miss Chris Johnson's twitches though.
Legit thing. I used to try to understand what he was saying, couldn't understand a word.
He got a little fat though.
Yeah, that's why we cut him. LenDale? Oh yeah, LenDale got a little big on us.
A little big.
But I would definitely put him up there in the honorable mentions.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember going to those games. He would throw his gloves, and I think he gave away his cleats one time. But that was an iconic team. That was probably the first games I remember.
I feel you.
Because, you don't remember nothing except for up to a certain point.
But like, yeah, LenDale.
For some reason, I never forgot 25.
LenDale, I hope he gets just a little tad bit more respect on his name for the way he ended his career with the Titans. Because, like you said, personally, I think he's a pretty good player. Not on these caliber of players that we got here, but I also think
he's still got a 1,000-yard season.
Yeah, so I think he's pretty good. So I would definitely put him as our honorable mention. And I don't think Chris Johnson would have had as much success as he had when he first started if we didn't have LenDale with the Thunder and Lightning t-shirts they was selling, everything like that.
Oh, that was, Michael Griffin.
I remember
Kyle
Big
Griff. I think this was Michael Ruse was still playing. Keith Bullock, Cortland Finnegan. Javon Curse, little freaky.
Hey, we need a little
freaky.
We need a little Cortland Finnegan. Get some fight in our corners, for real, for real.
This was a good team.
At 2018?
2008.
Clutch.
Terry Collins, though.
He's actually coming up in the next video. I gotta get your opinion on him. I got to.
He can do what?
But there you is, guys. Hopefully, once Derek finishes another year, we're gonna come back and we're gonna redo this episode. We're gonna do part 1, part 2 to see if our predictions came true. But I really think at the rate there's no way that Derek doesn't become the best running back in Tennessee Titans history. So that's it for this one. Thank you. We were just having a little fun comparing careers. No disrespect to anybody's legacy. Make sure y'all like, comment.
I'll make more money than us. So I'll talk all the crap I want to.
Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And we got another one coming up. Peace.
But yeah, listen to this